welcome to our devotions for today. Today is Tuesday, and it is, as usual, a joy to be with you here as we begin our day together and as we look forward to all that the Spirit will guide us through this day. As we come into this space this morning, I invite you to just find your normal quiet space and just be there for a few moments as we prepare ourselves, allowing ourselves to sort of gather, as it were. We don't oftentimes realize how fragmented we can be in our lives, especially if we busy ourselves early in the morning trying to get children ready for school, or we ourselves get ready to work, with various activities we may find ourselves involved in. And so there's a certain degree of scattering that happens even early in the morning. And so you want to be able to make sure that all of you is really here present, and so that you can be here with all of us together, and we can truly use this time as we draw on each other and as we experience the divine presence with us all. So if you're in your space, I ask you now to just close your eyes and bring your attention down into your heart space. And as you bring your attention into your heart space, I want you to just take a couple of deep breaths to just allow yourself to be really, really centered, and allow that focus to be in your body, as it were, so that we ground ourselves in our body. Be aware of the seat that you're sitting on or the bed you're lying on. Be aware of the way in which your feet touch the floor, if they're touching the floor. Just allow yourself to be aware and conscious of the support that the earth gives us. And just imagine a long cord going down our feet into the center of the earth, anchoring us at the core of the earth, just connecting us seriously to all that is. And you have the earth beneath our feet, and the skies and the grid above us, and we're all part of that grid, all lights connected to each other. And it is that grid that encapsulates our entire earth and keeps it alive in many ways. So we become very conscious of the role that we play in our world. We're not just using up space, we're actually contributing. We know that every living being makes some contribution to the earth, even if we don't understand it fully. So we must understand that we ourselves make a vital and vibrant contribution to our world. So perceive yourself as a beam of light, and you are connected to other beams, and it is this light that surrounds our world. It is this light that brings healing, this light that keeps our earth alive. And so as we come into this space this morning, I ask that we just bring our whole world with us. So we're not here alone, but we are here with everything else. And we take a deep breath and try to find that place within ourselves, that place of stillness, of inner peace. and to allow that inner peace to expand and expand, so that our entire being is filled with that sense of peace. And we prepare ourselves to go out into the world as sources of peace. Ah, my Lord, how can we thank you for all that we are? What can we give to you? What can we say to you? We may offer ourselves completely in full surrender. Accept our gift, dear Lord, of ourselves, knowing that it is all that we have. We trust you as the one who has called us into being and have kept us each and every moment of each day. Keep us ever aware of this knowing and assist us in living into this knowing through this life and the life to come. You are our hope and you are our joy. Amen. We turn our attention to our reading for today in John's Gospel, chapter 11, continuation, reading verse 30 to 44. We began this reading yesterday, and so we continue today. Now, Jesus had not yet come to the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. The Jews who were with her in the house consoling her saw Mary get up quickly and go out. They followed her because they thought that she was going to the tomb to weep there. When Mary came where Jesus was and saw him, she knelt at his feet and said to him, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her also weeping, he was greatly disturbed in spirit and deeply moved. He said, "Where have you laid him?" They said to him, "Lord, come and see." Jesus began to weep. So the Jews said, "See how he loved him." But some of them said, "Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying?" And Jesus, again greatly disturbed, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone was lying against it. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, the sister of the dead man, said to him, "Lord, already there's a stench, because he's been dead 4 days." Jesus said to her, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you would see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. And Jesus looked upward and said, "Father, I thank you for having heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I have said this for the sake of the crowd standing here, so that they may believe that you sent me." When he had said this, he cried with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." The dead man came out, his hands and feet bound with strips of cloth, and his face wrapped in a cloth. Jesus said to them, "Unbind him and let him go." Here ends the reading.
No unseen. We believe in one Lord Jesus Christ, the only Son of God, eternally begotten of the Father, God from God, light from light, true God from true God, begotten not made, one in being with the Father. Through him all things were made, for us and for our salvation. He came down from heaven by the power of the Holy Spirit. He was born of the Virgin Mary and became man. For our sake he was crucified under Pontius Pilate. He suffered, died, and was buried. On the third day he rose again, in fulfillment of the scriptures. He ascended into heaven and is seated at the right hand of the Father. He will come again in glory to judge the living and the dead, and his kingdom will have no end. We believe in the Holy Spirit, the Lord, the giver of life, who proceeds from the Father, with the Father and the Son. He is worshipped and glorified. He has spoken through the prophets. We believe in one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. We acknowledge one baptism for the forgiveness of sins. We look for the resurrection of the dead and the life of the world to come. Amen. 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 Amen.
Jesus says, unbind him and let him go. Jesus is torn up inside as he comes to deal with all that is in front of him, his dear friend Lazarus and Martha and Mary, his sisters, trying to come to grips with all that has taken place and realizing that this is one of those times in life where one is torn from the core of one's being. But all through this message, all through this episode, Jesus is inviting those who are with him to believe. To believe. And belief is not always easy to come by. You know, we say we believe, but oftentimes we're not really talking about belief. Oftentimes what we're talking about is what we've heard from someone else, some statement, some set of ideas. And we say we believe because there's nothing required from you when you can believe a statement. If it is a statement that has been around long enough and the majority of folks believe it, then it is very easy to say I believe. I don't know if you ever give it much thought, but as the world becomes more and more in a place where persons are identifying with being non-church, where more and more persons are deciding that they don't really want anything to do with church. we're actually nurturing children now who don't believe. And they don't believe because no one has ever told them about what they should believe. And so we are witnessing generations of young people, or persons in general, who are growing up without the kind of beliefs that we would have inherited in our time. Because those that were responsible for us told us what to believe. Now it is only time that will tell, but my words do not in any way suggest that these current individuals don't have faith. I'm just saying that the ideas and ideologies that we might have subscribed to because someone has told us that this is what we should believe, that they may not in any way support or hold to those beliefs. But they may have other beliefs. They may experience other modalities that invite them to deal with what they are experiencing and come to faith. When you think of the early church and the first days of the early church and the kind of fervor that individuals had, we can understand that the experiences first of Jesus with all his miracles and powerful statements, and then the apostles following behind Jesus with all of their miracles and powerful statements. We could see persons come into faith not assenting to statements, but more so coming to faith because of what they were experiencing. How they were watching such magnificent things occur. Even in the reading this morning, someone makes the point, could this man who has been healing people not prevent this person from dying? And you wonder what might have given rise to that statement. Surely they weren't thinking that Jesus was going to go around now and stop everybody from dying. I think what might have been behind this was the fact that Jesus showed such depth of love for Lazarus and his sisters. And so really what might very well be playing out is, well, if you love them so much and they mean so much to you and you have so much power, why didn't you use your power to prevent him from succumbing to death? So there's a sense in which the love that Jesus had for Lazarus, Martha, and Mary was being used, as it were, to justify in some way Jesus' ability to prevent Lazarus from dying. Because the passage that says Jesus wept indicates that this was something that was motivated by love. And so all these folks who would have witnessed these things would have come to faith not as some ideology, but as a lived experience. And I think more and more what's being encouraged in our world is the lived experience. And I think science, by its challenge to us about our ideologies, is pushing us to do something more. Oftentimes we see science as the enemy, but I don't see science as the enemy. I see science as that which invigorates, awakens. Because we have tended to sort of drop off to sleep. We've set our systems in place, we've built our various places of worship, and all is well with the world. And we know all is not well with the world. But we tend to want to believe all is well with the world. And we run to these places from time to time, and we behave as though all is well with the world. But all is not well with the world. And science challenges us with this reality. It challenges us to come away from our ideologies and live the experience. In recent years now, there's been a new movement entitled spiritual activism. And I believe it's called this because in the past, spirituality was more often not about going somewhere and meditating and, having ecstatic experiences and enjoying it and writing about it, and then others read what you wrote, and some of them tried and oftentimes they failed because sometimes these experiences aren't reproducible, not in the way that we would like them to be reproducible. And many would just continue trying and trying. But in recent times, the invitation has been to get up off the meditation mat. Not to not go on the meditation mat, but to get up off the meditation mat and engage the world. To bring that peace that the meditation mat would have granted us and influence the world with that peace. To see the importance of justice. To see the importance of healing and making a difference in persons' lives. And this has just taken us back to Jesus. Jesus was a spiritual activist. He wasn't on a meditation mat. He often spent the whole night in prayer. That would have been his meditation mat. But day by day, he got off that mat and he came and he dealt with the day-to-day challenges of the world. Many of us want to be spiritual or grow spiritually. And sometimes we do it because we are looking for a way to escape the world. It's reality that in the past, in the Middle Ages, many persons became monks and nuns to escape the world. And they preferred to live cloistered lives. The world was evil, the world was sinful. But we can't do that. That doesn't help anyone. That doesn't improve the world. We've got to be in the world, but not of it. And so, even that statement can help us understand that to be not of the world requires us to sit on our meditation mats so that we know who we are, we know whose we are, we understand our purpose in the world. But then we go into the world so we can be in the world but not of it, because our meditations help us to understand that we are not of it, and it gives us strength to be in it and make a difference. So that's what Jesus was doing even this morning in this passage. He was not of the world. He was not allowing himself to be limited by the world, by the thoughts of the world, by the concepts of the world. But he was in the world. He cried, but he also healed. When you are in the world and of the world, the most you can do is cry. And that's it. But when you are in the world but not of the world, you can cry, but you can also transform, because you're not of the world. So as we reflect on Jesus' ministry, Jesus' example, let's remember him as the spiritual activist, the one who is in the world but not of the world, the one who cries with us, but doesn't cry as a victim cries as one who feels just as we feel, who experiences the hurt, but who can also heal the hurt. When we are able to heal the hurt, that's when we get into the realm of living the experience. So the invitation must be for us to continue the work that we are doing in ways that allow us to be able to not just feel the pain of our world, but also to be able to do something about it, to make a difference, to make a big difference.
Saving faith